football is going to change. Football is going to change. In 10, 15 years' time, it will be unrecognizable. So let's talk about it, man. Let's have a conversation about this. The World Cup to be held every 2 years. So first off, it's okay. There's so many ways to talk about this, but let's do this in a systematic way. I think it's a bad idea. Why do I think it's a bad idea? The less something occurs, the more special it is. The less something happens, the more you value it. So every time the World Cup comes along, you cherish it a lot more. And because it's been happening since the 30s and so forth, every 4 years, you know, boom, I've got to say what's up. So you know that if you mess up and you don't say what's up at the World Cup, you're not going to wait another 4 years. And when it does roll around, it is special because it is such a rare occurrence because you have to wait for so long for it. But if something happens every week or every year, yeah, maybe it's special, but it's not as special as something that happens every 4 years. So the magic and the meaning of the World Cup gets lost if you now move from 4 years to every 2 years. Why is this being done? I'll surprise you. I understand why this is happening. I understand it. Money. So it is said that they're going to make more. I think the number is from 5 to 8 billion. You know, where is it? Wait. So because I was looking at the article here. So yeah, so they say that 48 teams due to be held across 3 countries in 2030, it can now increase to 8.3 billion across a 4-year cycle with 2 World Cups. So let's say it's about money. So forget about the numbers. Billions more can be made. Not millions, billions more can be made. So I can't begrudge FIFA wanting to do something for more money. The people in charge at FIFA, they're not us. We are football fans. We are football purists. We understand the meaning of a World Cup. We understand what that means, the meaning of a Champions League. We understand the pinnacles of football. These guys, they're casual football fans. They don't really care as much as we do. And really, they're in it to make money because that's their job. Their job is to manage this. And if there's a chance to make more money, they'll make more money. If there's a chance to make more money, they won't try and avoid that. So wait, we can make more money if we do this. Okay, then let's do that. But I was reading this article, I think, on the BBC, and something struck me. I said, okay, guys, okay, what's the angle here? Because this proposal has been rejected by CONMEBOL, who obviously represents South America, UEFA, who obviously represents Europe. I'm not sure so they've not said what the other guys have done with it. But the African board have accepted it. We'll come back to that point afterwards. Hold our thoughts. Well-being of the players. Because I'm sure that is where I think UEFA and CONMEBOL are coming from, especially UEFA. Well-being of the players. You already have a Nations League that's going to be happening now. You already know about the Euros that's going to be happening, which I'm sure they're going to change the Euros from 4 years to every 2 years, or they're going to try and change the occurrence of the Euros, and now you now have a World Cup every 2 years. All because players get paid hundreds of thousands a week doesn't mean that they're machines. It doesn't mean that these guys can somehow be superhuman people. There are too many games. It's what Lewandowski alluded to, that there are far too many games. But for the people organizing this stuff, they don't care about the health of the players. They're like, we can make so much more money. Man, who cares? All these guys are doing just freaking running around on the pitch and kicking a ball. That's fine. It doesn't matter. So as long as you can kick the ball, make money, make us money and everyone around us money, bro, go out there and do that. But then are you really thinking about the players here? Because these players also have a commitment to their clubs. Yes, you want to play for your country, and it is one of the greatest honor in the world to play for your country. You're not paid. Even if you're paid nowhere near as much as you're paid by your club. For your club, that is your job. That is what puts food on the table, is what you do for your club. So you do have serious allegiances to your place of work. But your place of work can make concessions based on just how the unique ecosystem that is football, that, hey, this World Cup is important, this AFCON is important, these Euros are important, this Copa America is important. So you can understand these things here, man. So, again, guys, sorry about, I'm not sure whether you can hear in my voice. I'm still recovering from a cold, so it may sound like as if I still have like a slight blocked nose, man. But I wanted to put this thought off out there for you. But again, apologies if I sound like I've got a blocked nose, man. So for these players, like, I mean, it's as if you're treating these guys like slaves, like workhorses. Like, oh no, just keep playing. But like, bro, you know that there's very little turnover from when a season ends to like a World Cup. Because if it's every 2 years, you also got the Nations League up in there as well. You've also got the Euros up as well. The way we're looking at it is, every summer, these players will have to play a major tournament every summer. That is almost what's going to happen. Like, it's almost, because I think even if you have just this World Cup of every 2 years, and then you have the Euros of every 4 years and the Copa America of every 4 years, AFCON, you'll have a situation that's like, oh, we don't have a summer to rest. Because the way it is right now, bro, at least we have a year where we can just chill. At least we have like a summer where we can just chill. Okay, and then we've got the Euros here, we've got the thing here. But the way you're moving now is like, bro, like every 2 years, that's real. That's crazy. But then obviously the flip side is, oh, but man, it's more football. Because nobody is going to say no to more football. They never will. They'll never say no to more football. But we have to think about the well-being of the freaking players. Because players need their rest time. Especially when they now have to build up for the next season. Because yes, of course the World Cup is important. Of course AFCON is important. But so is what they do for their clubs. Because that is their place of work. Now, to go back to this whole thing. So, Wenger, who is spearheading this thing as well, so yeah, Papa Wenger. So he said, this is going to bring in more money because he wants to stop the gap between the rich and the poor. Oh, and it's going to be able to get talents and people to invest more in Africa, because if you're giving more money, you'll be able to invest in Africa. Oh, yes, I'm interested. So that's obviously why CAF, the African football body, would support, because they can now receive this money and use the money to develop the talents in Africa. This is great. So why isn't this an amazing idea? Why aren't you for this? Hashtag honesty. So I think 'tis the season to be honest. Tra la 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 la. When you're honest. If this money goes to these African bodies, what assurances do I have? What assurances do I have that money is going to be used properly to develop talents in Africa? What assurances do I have that money is not going to be pocketed by these different African bodies? Half of you went there. Half of you shouldn't have gone there. Half of you shouldn't have gone there. That's too real. Half of that's too real. Because, of course, I'd want that money to be used to develop young players, increase coaching, increase facilities, get young African kids off the streets and so forth. Like, I remember there was a Nigerian kid. Well, there was his brother was his agent. And then he came to me and he said, look, man, what do we need to do and so forth? Because he wanted to take his brother, who was a football player that wanted to get noticed, to Europe or be an agent so he can move. And I was like, man, okay, look, I'm trying to talk to some guys. So I tried to link him. Yeah, so I gave his showreel to a football agent that I knew. I said, look, man, that's the best thing I can do. But I was like, you know what? Why should he have to go to Europe? There should be a facility, a training complex with coaches from like a Spain, Portugal, Holland or so forth, to be able to fully nurture players that you don't have to go to Europe. It should be right there. Which is why, this money coming in would be great. But my thing though is that how do I know that that money is going to be used properly? How do I know that there's not going to be any corruption? How do I know that these guys are not going to pocket some of that money? So when I just read that CAF have given this its backing, I was like, those people in charge, is this a way for you to make some extra cash? Because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And who's going to audit them? Really? Because once when people give them the money, they're like, okay, yeah, we have the money. Yeah, we'll build some stuff and you make up some stuff. Yeah, there are a few things going here and everything, but which is why it is very important that Etso just won the presidency for Cameroon. Huge. Because if that thing goes to the Cameroon FA with Etso in charge, he'll be real. He'll be real. Because I just know that Etso, he's going to do the right. So for me, I believe in an Etso. But for all these guys in all these African bodies, I don't know. Guys, I'm speaking from experience. So this is me. This is a guy who lived in Nigeria. I know the NFA. I know of the NFF. I know about how the various... Bro, I've been watching AFCON from ages, okay? I've lived on the continent. And my thing is that the issue, which is what the issue we have in Africa, because this is more than football, is those in power, the money they receive, they don't use it to improve the facilities within the country. The money is there. The funds are there. But the funds are kept for the very few and are not properly distributed. So I'm speaking from experience. So this was a guy, I'm speaking from experience of like, what assurances. So now, this would only work. See, I'd only fully back if FIFA, you have your own auditing team and you ensure that money is used to build the best facilities and is properly, and every cent, every penny, every kobo and cent is used to invest in training, coaching, and schools and facilities for young up-and-coming talent in Africa. So again, my thing about that is the whole money thing. It's not enough for me. It's like, how do I know it's going to be used well? So, and this is the larger point. This is going to happen. I said this before on something. I said football is going to change. Football is going to change. In 10, 15 years' time, it will be unrecognizable. And it's funny what someone, I think it was Infantino who said that we have to change football and so forth because we don't want the kids to go away. The kids to go away? What sport is going to overtake football? Yeah, UFC is there. UFC isn't coming close to football. Yeah, NBA is there. NBA doesn't come close. Boxing is there and so forth. Football is here to stay. It's here to stay. Of course, football will not always be number one for a long time. Look at what happened to boxing. Because boxing was huge, was number one for a long time. But nobody stays the king forever. No one stays the king forever. And I remember like the time that there was almost the passing of the baton from boxing to football. Because I remember it was, I would say it was like the 98th World Cup. Because that was around the time where Mike Tyson, who was still Tyson was the last superstar of boxing. So once he sort of went down on the decline, with the 19th World Cup, with the emergence of Ronaldo, that was when you really saw football take the baton and say, we're now the number one sport in the world. And it's going to be that way. So there is no need to be like, we have to have this thing every 2 years. No, that's a smoke screen. I think the bottom line here is, and that's why I accept it. How do you try and tell FIFA that you shouldn't make more money? Bro, like, get real. Get real. But you have to care about the purity of the sport, the purity of football. It is important that it's every 4 years because of the meaning. The meaning? Billions. So we should say no to billions because of meaning and the purity and the sanctity of the sport? No. You see, guys, there's reality and there's fantasy, there's the utopia. In a fantasy utopia, in an ideal setting, every 4 years. Because because the World Cup is special. And that is the hallmark of football. That is the pinnacle of football. That's the ideal world. In the real world, it's about in the real world, guys, I'm thinking far ahead. What destroyed boxing? Money. As boxing got bigger and bigger and bigger, the promoters became like vultures. Because as boxing generated more money because you had superstars like Muhammad Ali, then you had obviously Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. and all these guys, there was so much money to be made. And when there was so much money to be made, promoters came and ruined the entire sport because they began to get greedy, mess up the boxers. We never got the fights that we now wanted. And now for football, the same thing is happening. Because as football has grown, there's more money involved. And because there's more money involved, more games, more tournaments, a higher frequency of the tournaments, because the more games you have, and with a higher frequency, you generate more money, as it's been shown. And what's going to happen is it's just going to be too much. And it's going to reach a crescendo. And that's what's going to kill football. Football will not be number one forever. Now, I think football will be here for at least the next 15, 20, 25 years. But football will fall. And it will fall for the same reason that boxing fell. Because of greed. Greed, money, and that is just what's... And the soul, the very soul and the purity of the sport will be destroyed. And once the purity gets destroyed, who knows? Maybe athletics will reemerge. Maybe UFC, in a different kind of form, will come and say, but football will get replaced. And it will get replaced for the same reason why boxing got replaced. A lot of money being made and people getting greedy. And destroying the sport from within it. So, but I think we're lucky that we're going to still enjoy its purity for some time. But maybe the generation after the next, you're going to see a fractured sport. Like the next two generations, it will almost be unrecognizable. And then they'll be like, okay, this, because you'll have ads. You'll have like every 30 minutes there'll be an ad. The way it's be promoted will be completely different because people will want to change and feel the need to update. And once they update, they'll get more money. And with every new venture, new money is now promised. You see, for me, because see, in life, don't be an idealist. You can have fans and so forth, but in life, have your ideals. Don't be an idealist. That's the key thing. Have your ideals, but understand what is. Understand what humans are. Understand what man is. Understand what really drives the world. Understand what really makes the world go around and what will always make the world go around. History repeats itself and man repeats itself. And when you just look through it, just do your Googles, read your books, and just look out through history and man through history and certain things, certain patterns, they repeat themselves. So, at least we will enjoy the World Cup for a few searches more. But yeah, in 10, 15, 20, 25 years, what this meant back in 94, when Romario, Bebeto, Cafu and all these guys wore this, it'll be different.